This video is for those that are willing to get dirty, break a sweat, and maybe bleed a little bit on your way to collect some cold hard cash. I'm going to cover 7 dirty side hustles that nearly anyone at any age can do, but most are too lazy or too afraid to try. Side hustles are great for creating quick income, but I love it when people can turn those skills they learn into a full-fledged business. All of the side hustles I share today can be turned into a business that will allow you to quit your job if you want to put in the effort. Have you ever wondered who cleans up crime scenes? It's a weird question, I know, but stick with me on this one. You've probably never thought about it before, but if you said law enforcement or the government, you'd be wrong. I didn't know this either, which fascinated me to find out that there's a lot of money to be made in a business of trauma and crime scene cleaning, which brings me to Lauren Spading. Lauren was a police officer in Texas at the time when she was asked by a family member of a deceased individual who would be cleaning up the scene. She didn't know, and when she asked her coworkers, they all said to Google it because law enforcement or government is prohibited from recommending any for-profit businesses. When Lauren started researching, she realized there was an opportunity to fill this need. At the time, she was making about $42,000 a year as a police officer, living paycheck to paycheck. She decided to start her side hustle cleaning up trauma and crime scenes, and quickly began to make more money than her law enforcement job. She spent $2,500 on training to learn how to deal with hazardous materials. She bought a trailer for $2,000 so she could haul the equipment and get rid of the disposal. And she spent another $8,000 on PPE or personal protection equipment, such as masks, hazmat suits, etc. She built a website to promote her business, but the first job she got actually came from a door-to-door sales when she visited a Salvation Army. She learned of a man who died in his chair and his body decomposed in this recliner at his home. That first job made her $2,500, and then she cleaned up a double homicide as her second job, which paid $15,000. She made her initial investment back within that first month, and that was just the beginning. The police station that she was working for at the time found out that she was doing this extra work on the side. They gave her an ultimatum: either stop working, stop doing her side business, or get fired. The answer was easy for her, so she quit. And 17 years later, she's making over $12 million a year in her business as a crime scene cleanup. The good news is you don't have to clean up crime scenes to make good money from a side hustle. But Lauren's a perfect example of an ordinary person making great money by doing jobs that most others just don't want to do. This video took me several hours of research to find the 7 best side hustles for those that are willing to get dirty to get paid. This is the quality of research I would want if I was interested in starting a new business. And in fact, during this process, I found a business idea that I think is such a great opportunity that I'm looking at it closer for myself and my wife. If you appreciate hard work, then hit that subscribe button and hammer down on that like button so I can keep this channel up and keep delivering quality content to you guys. The 7 side hustles I'm going to share with you seem like a walk in the park compared to crime scene cleanups. As I share each of the side hustles, you'll notice that I've combined 2 or more services into a side hustle. Many of these side hustles provide the ability to perform complimentary services for the customer. This will help not only increase income, but also customer satisfaction, which will lead to future business. As you probably already know, it costs a lot more to generate a new customer than it does to keep an existing one happy. If you can offer multiple services that complement the primary need of the customer, it'll make you the go-to business for that family, and they'll want to sing your praises and refer others to you. Let's start with the one service that's actually 40 to 100 different services all in one. Dirty side hustle number 1 is Handyman. Being a handyman is a very broad description of services, including things like television mounting, assembling furniture at IKEA, the big dressers and desks that are just nearly impossible to put together, fixing leaky faucets or unclogging drains, changing air filters, installing lights, and much, much more. So how much can you make as a handyman? Well, self-employed handyman hourly rates about $50 to $125 an hour. Most jobs are between $60 and $1,000 with an average of about $350. Materials are typically in addition to the hourly rate, and each state has their own requirements. So keep in mind that most jobs are going to be under $1,000 without having to deal with a handyman license. When first starting out, a lot of people will just go to a service like TaskRabbit. They provide the marketing and invoice collection or payment collection, similar to like driving for Uber. You also get to set your own hours and get to set your own rates. Just like Kingsley Onamali, a 40-year-old who made over 6 figures as a handyman, he picked up handyman skills along the way as his job eventually helped him earn more clients and charge higher prices on the platform TaskRabbit. Through the first 8 months of 2022, Onamali still made nearly $60,000 off of TaskRabbit. He's investing most of that money back into his garage organizing business, largely because he doesn't have to spend on advertising and marketing, which TaskRabbit handles. Kingsley isn't the only one building a garage organizing business. This side hustle is now the fastest growing sector in home remodeling at over $2.5 billion annually, and it's the number 2 dirty side hustle. Dirty side hustle number 2, home and garage organizer. If you like to organize things, this side hustle's for you. There's a 25-year-old making $65 an hour organizing people's homes. 80 to 85% of her leads still come from Thumbtack, which is another service provider similar to Uber. She says, I get referrals from a lot of my previous clients, which is really important to understand. These include referrals from renovators, movers, those who need their clients' homes packed up and moved, as well as the realtors that are showing homes to buyers. When they're showing a house, they might have to have a client clean up and has too much stuff, so they need to pack it away or organize it. They'll call me in and help their client get through all the different items. It's so important to build up your network of professionals in the same industry you're providing services so you can be that go-to person that they call when they need that type of service. It looks like more and more people are wanting their garage organized and are willing to pay for that help. The global garage storage and organization market, it's anticipated to rise at a considerable rate during the forecast period of 2024 to 2031. With all this growth, homeowners will need help designing and installing all of those garage storage solutions. I know I like a clean garage just like the next person, so it's no surprise that the industry is growing at the pace that it is. Many people are paying for installing new countertops, shelving, cabinets, overhead storage, and those new fancy bin organizing systems. Garage organization services can demand $50 to $85 per hour and expect to lift heavy items, get surprised by some spiders, and get covered in dirt, of course. This dirty side hustle can be a great full-time business once you've built up the referral base. Dirty side hustle number 3, power washing services. Cleaning walls, decks, walkways, driveways, even trash cans. This can be a very lucrative side hustle and side gig, but also turn into a full-time operation if you wanted to. Consider the average pressure washing cost between $190 to $400 per job. If you did a couple of these jobs per day at $250 each, you could be making upwards of $130,000 a year if you worked just 260 days out of the year. Costs to get started would include the heavy-duty pressure washer. These can run about $400 if you were to buy one. The first few jobs you do, you can always go rent the pressure washer to help save some money. You also would need a truck or a van or something to carry your tools, the pressure washer, to the job sites. Pressure washing is a great service, especially if you live in warmer climates that are year-round, like California, Florida, some of the like Arizona areas. But if you live in states that are colder in the wintertime, maybe get snow, you could do snow removal. And speaking of snow removal, dirty side hustle number 4 is lawn care and snow removal. Mowing and trimming services obviously are great in the summertime with consistent weekly and sometimes bi-weekly requirements. But in the wintertime, snow removal is also a great opportunity if you live in colder climates. I currently live in Southern California, but used to live in Colorado for many years. And we had obviously cold and snowy winters and then summertime as well. So provides the ability for you to capture a client once and offer multiple services throughout the year, especially as a side gig that you could do on the weekends if needed. Another valuable service to provide as a lawn care provider is sprinkler repair and winterizing. So winterizing, obviously in the colder climates, we blow out our sprinkler systems so that there's no water in there. Allows it to make sure it doesn't freeze over the winter time period. So that's a short little service that can be done once a year, but sprinkler repair is a big one. A lot of homeowners, whether it's pets digging up things, there's always things happening to sprinkler lines or the heads, popping off or getting ran over by a lawnmower or kids or whatever it might be. Sprinkler repair is a great opportunity to learn the skills, basic plumbing skills in order to be able to replace those sprinkler heads, dig them up, find the leak and actually repair the line. Lawn care services generally range from $40 to $60 per hour, but if you can get in a good rhythm, if you have multiple people helping you out, you might be able to mow a lawn that you charge $40 a week for, that you can get done within 15, 20 minutes potentially, and move on to the next house if you have enough help. If it's just yourself and it's a larger property, it could take an hour or more to mow a property. So you just want to make sure you budget accordingly and make sure that you're charging accordingly for that work. Lawn mowing is near and dear to my heart. It's something I started early on when I was in high school and into college. Ended up building up a book of business of about 20, 25 clients. And then I actually moved that over to a friend of mine who had a full lawn mowing service. And he's been mowing those same clients for the last 25 years, which is really fun to see. But definitely one of those professions that is pretty rewarding. You get an instant satisfaction when you're mowing the lawn. You get to make some stripes, make it look pretty. And then, you have to deal with the dirtiness, the smell of gasoline, the permanent grass on your jeans, and the weed whacker, and making sure, you're not getting hit in the eyeballs with, rocks spitting up from the trimmer. But all in all, it's a great side hustle, side gig, especially for those of you that are willing to do it. Dirty side hustle number 5 is graffiti removal. Most of these jobs are less than an hour to complete and a minimum of $500, but you might get some larger clients, some more commercial clients. There's a graffiti business owner who mentioned on Reddit, for larger corporate clients and customers, it's a little bit different. Generally, they'll pay about $1,200 to $1,600 for 2 medium to large tags on a bare brick surface. That feels about right most of the times, is what he was mentioning. The tools needed for this type of business is going to be a pressure washer, cleaning supplies, abrasive materials to get off of all the paint and other markings. I separated this out from the pressure washing business because most of the clients that you're going to be dealing with are going to be corporate or business owners or governments, potentially the city as well, versus residential or homeowners. Dirty side hustle number 6 is mobile auto detailing. Cleaning cars is a great dirty side hustle that anyone can start. Alan is a great example of this when he started Go Detail. He started with only $500 to make a little bit of extra money. Today, his auto detailing business makes over $1 million in revenue each year. He started with just basic tools like a vacuum, some cleaning supplies, and slowly progressed into providing more detailing services for even car dealerships and additional customers at home, and has really progressed into quite the business owner. The other day, I actually had a young guy knock on my door, and he was going door to door asking if people needed their car cleaned. He had a mobile car cleaning business, and he was in his early 20s. He had a really clean appearance and didn't seem too salesy, and actually was very polite and kind. This is how it should be done. Present yourself well, be genuine, and you're sure to get a lot of no's, but you're definitely going to get some yeses if you just keep pushing through. Most mobile auto detailing companies will be charging between $150 and $300 for a full service. That includes washing the exterior as well as cleaning the interior. Now, there's some ideas that you can include to add value to your service to charge additional to that base level. One idea is to use non-toxic cleaning chemicals. This is a big push, obviously, with people who are more affluent and are desiring less toxic chemicals. It's definitely a value add and a benefit to those that have young families. They're concerned with maybe the toxicity of those cleaning chemicals that are being used in most cases. So definitely some things to think about. Obviously, waxing and removing bugs and those kind of things that might take a little bit more time, but provide a little bit higher value to the service you provide. Dirty side hustle number 7 is window and gutter cleaning. This is another dirty side hustle that has the potential for you to quit your day job and go full time if you wanted to. It does require that you get on ladders and be comfortable with heights, which not everyone is, but the rewards can be tremendous. I watched a video with Graham Stephan about this guy making $20,000 a month going door to door doing a window cleaning business. I was blown away by this. Graham actually spent the day with Tyler going door to door, and they had the goal of making $500 in a day just from knocking on doors and cleaning windows. They were able to make over $1,000 that day with just using tools as simple as squeegee, towel, and some ladders. I want to wrap up this video with the best practices that you can apply to any of these side hustles that will make you more money faster and keep business coming in for years. One of the most boring sides of the business is legal. Make sure you're following all the city, county, and state laws for the type of business that you're starting. There may be specific license or insurance requirements depending on the job that you're going to be doing. If you perform work for companies like TaskRabbit, you might be covered under some of their insurance and bonding policies. You definitely want to ask and make sure. Then we've got marketing. Marketing is critically important. We talked about going door to door, talking to someone versus dropping flyers. Dropping flyers is great, but talking to somebody is so much better. Then you've got social media marketing. Things like Facebook and YouTube are great places for people to search and find your content. Then you want to make sure you try to capture their emails and provide customers the ability for you to send them emails and updates on services. If you're going to be in their area, maybe providing coupons and other discounts, ability for you to provide referrals and reviews for customers after you've completed their service. This should be your number one focus after completing the service. It's called social proof. If you think about the last time you went to Amazon and purchased something, you likely looked at the reviews, especially if it was a product that you had never purchased before. What you're looking for is whether people had problems with it. Maybe there's solutions to issues that you've had with other businesses. These are the type of things that other customers are looking for you. And if they're looking to get their windows washed, or maybe they're painting on their house, or a handyman service, they want to know that they're working with somebody that's trustworthy, that will show up, that they can bring into their home, which is obviously a very personal experience. One of the most powerful marketing tools in service-based businesses is referral incentives. So this is an example where if one of your friends becomes a customer, your next window cleaning is on us, or maybe there's a discount associated with that. Then you might want to get into online advertising and putting ads on Facebook and Instagram as you get bigger and bigger and able to afford that with more budget. Then we get into sales. Now sales, obviously it's more about just being good at talking to people, solving their problems, listening to what's going on with them, and so you can provide them the right solutions. So provide fewer options. People don't like a lot of different options. Provide them a simple option to pick from maybe 1 to 3 different services that you provide. Then you want to focus on what's their primary pain point and always offer solutions to solve that problem first, and then offer additional value-added services once you've solved that pain point. And then we got to talk about customer service. Make sure you show up on time, or if you're going to be late, make sure you communicate that well with the client. Offer touch-up jobs and services maybe that you messed up on or just weren't up to the customer's satisfaction. Provide easy payment options like credit card, using Square, Stripe, PayPal, anything that you can make it easier to do business with you. Your customers will appreciate that. Now let's talk about investing in your business. As you're growing, you definitely want to purchase tools that make your jobs faster and more effective. Building a website, maybe promoting your business using tools like Wix or Squarespace, and then start advertising, like I said, online using Facebook ads is another example of a good use of your budget and your money that you're making and help grow your business and continue investing back into the business. Hopefully this video offered some insights that will help you in your search for a dirty side hustle. I'd encourage you to just get started, learn as you go, find something that interests you and falls within your skills, and then you can just get started. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch the video, comment down below, and I hope something great happens to you today.